Jay's in the building. J and J. Jay, J-A-E, right?
J-A-E.
That's what I do. This is what I do. Like, oh, I don't know.
Absolutely.
What's up, y'all? It's Pink 22. What's going on? Jay and Jay. Hey, so I'm going to ask you this again because I asked you this the very first show. An intro. What beat is that?
Oh, we talked about this already. How did I forget?
You're supposed to be down with the music and everything.
I am, but I have a brain fart right now. Sorry.
Oh man, anybody out there that's watching, like you can't. I was just talking about this intro, and I told Don, I was like, I'm gonna ask her, see if she remember the intro.
I remember, but I don't remember. Does that make sense? Like, I remember because we've talked about this, but I don't remember just because I've been busy all week.
But it's featuring everybody's favorite rapper.
I know. Just remind me, Jay.
And that's the thing. The feature the favorite rapper, his first name is Jay. His stage name.
Oh, just remind me, Jay. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Let me turn that down.
It's Slim Thug and Jay-Z.
That's right. We did talk about that. We did.
I should have just sang you the lyrics. But what's up? We got a dope show tonight. And today's show that we're talking about, why do folks introduce you to a vibe or energy they can't maintain? This is a topic that Jay suggested. I was like, you know what? Why talk about multiple topics when this topic alone, let me repeat it again for y'all. Why do folks introduce you to a vibe or energy they can't maintain? Why? And you know what? I'll be representing the men tonight, of course, because I got a plethora of reasons why people do that, especially man. Are we ready?
Let's hear the weak excuses that you got for your men.
He's going to assume it's weak. So here we are. Check it out. Step one. So you can agree. I know women love consistency, so don't introduce, they want to be introduced to a vibe that a man can't maintain, whatever, right?
Absolutely.
So, do you know what people strike out at, though? So sometimes a man be the woman, and I think they get confused by the beauty and the booty. But honestly, things that we like to do, we try to please a woman so much we forget what we like to do and do everything they like to do, and we forget about ourselves, right? Instead of like introducing them to your way of life as well as you learn their way of life. Sometimes men forget where they come from, and we be stuck in a woman's world, and then we just do everything a woman want to do. Then we forget about ourselves. It's kind of like vice versa, right? Because women do it too, right? They tell themselves, bring themselves to the man's world, do everything a man want to do. We're trying to please them. And then they try to do what they want to do and introduce a man to this world. So I don't know. Like, that's one of the reasons men forget what they like. And then they try to introduce themselves later on, 2 or 3 months down the hole. It's like they lose themselves. That's what it is. You lose yourself. And then you try to introduce yourself later. That's why women look at men like they crazy, because men put on the Prince Charming, the William Shakespeare type thing, Romeo and Juliet, therefore, all that shit. But we forget what we like, because it's a man's world. James Brown said it. So,
well, I don't know if I agree with that.
Hey, they say happy wife, happy life, right? But both people got to be happy.
So I asked this topic the other night when I was on live, and some folks said that, the same thing that you've said. Some folks said, as you start to date, then you realize that maybe the connection's not there, so the vibe changes. Uh-huh. But you know what my theory is?
What?
This is my thoughts, right? Said this multiple times. I'm telling you who I am from the start, what I expect, how I work, how I function. So I'm introducing you to who I am in the beginning, not to a fake persona that I want to try to get their attention with. And I feel like everybody always comes into something with a fake persona because they want to snag that person, or they need to impress them to try to get them to stay. But in reality, if you would have just showed up as who you were, then, you make that decision earlier. Is this who I want to deal with or who I don't want to deal with? But a lot of people have a hard time being who they are right up front.
So
What up, everybody?
It's put up a front. That's what you're saying. People put up a
I
front.
mean, it's a fake persona. They have to portray to be somebody. And then
So
once
the man
you
or the woman put up a
either
front.
it could be either or.
Okay.
You know, like it could definitely be either or, but once you portray that person, you have to try to keep it up, and then eventually I'm sure that shit gets exhausting. That's why it starts to fade away.
So fronting, right? That's why I put the for the man, it's the Romeo and Romeo thing. You know, you act like, you know what I used to do? I ain't gonna lie, back in the day, I'm gonna tell myself this when I was younger though. I'm gonna say about 20. When I was following R&B music, Genuine, Tyrese. I used to fucking be like emotional, like Carl Thomas. But hey, women don't like this shit, so I just strike out a lot. I ain't gonna lie. But I just strike out. But then when I start like being like DMX, get the fuck over here, girl. No, I ain't never did that though. But you gotta be yourself in the you do right. You gotta be yourself in the beginning. You know, the everybody put up a front. And I used to do that shit. Now I'm very blunt. Who I am in the beginning because I don't have time to, like I told you before, I can't lie. I'm a bad liar, so I cannot maintain to keep up a lie. I'm gonna be who I am. You either hate it or love it. I'm real direct, kind of blunt. No, I'm very blunt. And I say what's on my mind. So like you gotta be prepared to receive what I say. It's not gonna come off ignorant, it's gonna come off sarcastic, I guess I can say for better words. But I am who I am in the beginning. But however, let me put up this one point. That's when men kind of branch away when women start getting off a bad vibe, right? Let me tell you one thing for me. That's just something I came up with. When you find out a woman has a big mouth and likes to be loud and fronts you off in public and everything, that can totally send a guy 180 in the right direction, in another direction. They stop, like, they leave you alone. Me, I can be cool and vibing, but if you somebody that's gonna yell at me and do all that extra shit, 180. We ain't got nothing to talk about. Because big mouth women, I just don't deal with. Period. I can't tell it. Now you can tell me off in privacy correctly because I don't yell at a woman. I don't yell at a woman. What's the reason for raising my voice? I don't yell. I don't like a woman that's gonna front me. Y'all, let's talk. We grown. 41 years old. But I'm not a little boy. You're not a little girl. So let's talk. That's one of the reasons why men, you can say ghost or they don't maintain the vibes. They get turned off. It's one of the reasons. Big mouth women. I got a plethora of reasons down here too. I'm gonna let you comment on this first. The big mouth women.
I mean, do you consider big mouth like talking loud and yelling, or do you consider big mouth somebody who's going to speak up for themselves and not get walked on?
I can speak for myself and not get walked on without disrespecting somebody.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm asking. Well,
I don't mind a woman to speak up for herself and sit down and talk to me. It's how you do it. It's your approach, it's your character, how you maintain it. It's about respect at the end of the day. You can respectfully tell me, hey, I don't like this is what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna tolerate it. But when you get loud, like, what the fuck? I can't believe you did this shit. Like, to me, at this age, I get paid to deal with people like that, right? I get paid good. People cuss me out. Yeah, cuss me out, get paid good. But outside of that, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear you respectfully because you know it catches my attention. When you tell a man, hey, I want to talk to you for a minute. A real man that is, because some men just act like little bitches anyway. You can't talk to them. But catch your attention. Hey, I want to talk to you. I don't like you've been doing this, whatever. You'll catch the attention of the man. When you yelling, normally when people communicate when they're yelling, you hear them, but you don't listen to them. You hear them with the purpose of responding. So that's the thing about that big mouth women. And women don't get offended because I said big mouth women, BMW.
What about the my way or highway type men? You know, like
you gotta stay away from this old now.
Yeah, but see, a lot of those that again, that's portraying who they are in the beginning, right? You don't find these things out till slowly getting to know somebody and seeing how things go. But
they show signs.
Oh well, not always in the beginning. Not always in the beginning. Sometimes they do a good job at being somebody who they are not. No,
you know what? I agree and disagree. I think that men show signs at the beginning that women ignore. And you can ask questions. Actually, it's good when you meet people and people can put on this front, right? But you can ask certain questions that's real direct and blunt and see how men answer. See how they're like, for example, men that has kids. See what type of father y'all. You got kids? All right. You know, you can ask questions like if they got a kid, let's say 13, 14, are they in high school? Or they got college plans? You gotta be direct. Women ask questions about kids. They leave it at that. How many kids you got? Oh, I got 3. This age, this age, this age. Okay. Ask more questions. Like, for example, the oldest. You got you got girls? Yeah, I'm almost 9. Oh, she's in school. What grade she's in? Blah, blah, blah. What, she's in activities? Yeah, she's in soccer. I go to soccer games. Just communication. If you got a man like, no, I don't get a chance to go to soccer games. I don't like that shit. These are red flags. You don't tell your kids games because you don't like it. You got to ask questions. You got to do a real fucking extensive interview behind and ask questions. And that's based on how you are as a father. Shitty father who don't treat their kids like shit, they're going to treat you like shit too. You got to be extensive and go in the background and see what type of father they are. Then you got to go in their background and ask indirect questions on their past relationships. You got to know how to be, this is my investigation skills. You got to know how to be an investigator. You got to indirectly find out stuff about their past, and you won't get it all at once. If your situations come up where you can ask questions and you got to nail it right there. Ask them. So men give off red flags in the beginning that women just choose not to catch.
And vice versa.
Women are more sneakier than men.
Oh, let's not go into that debate. Let's not go into that debate.
Women can be more sneaky than men, but men, we don't really ignore red flags. We see red flags and we put that shit in our storage bin. So women that be sneaky, men, we see it as a pass. It's a hall pass, baby.
Charles said, "Preach, my man."
Charles, I'm in here preaching, baby. I'm preaching. And Donna, yes, it is way. See, this is what men do, right? We see wrong, and we put that shit in our back pocket, right? Okay. She think I'm dumb. We put it in our back pocket. We put that shit away. Put it away. So then when you say something about we doing, we already got that. We got it. We got it set up. We gonna bring it back. Like, hey, what about this? So for example, get this example. You meet a girl, and y'all, let's say you about 2-3 months in a date, 4 months in, and me. So when you comfortable with the person, you got nothing to hide, your phone lay face up. I don't give a shit what nobody say.
I agree.
It's face up. When you're on bullshit, your phone go face down. Period. It is what it is. Bullshit, face down. If you're on some real shit, face up. If anybody disagree with that, that's because you're on bullshit. I ain't saying I'm right. It's just facts. Like, say, like, for example, right, me and you kicking right, Jay. We out. And it's been like, been talking for 4 months. You watch me put my phone down. I do this, and I just flip that. I'm flipping it on the side. You gonna notice that?
Of course. Who wouldn't notice that?
It's a partial red flag. You gotta pay attention to that.
I agree.
Now,
I agree.
Sorry, man, if I put y'all on blast about something, but
we ain't dumb to that. We've been seeing that for years. So
people ignore that though.
They do.
They do it a lot, and they come up with the dumbest situations for turning their phone off. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not even home with myself. I just got this iPhone, so the light, I can't stand it. So I don't know how to turn my little beeps up. Ding, ding. So I fucking outside of my phone is annoying. I do it by myself, flip it upside down, but for the most part, I leave it up. I ain't got nothing to hide from nobody, so leave my shits up. It is what it is. I am who I am.
Well, but come into something being the person that you are so you can keep that same fucking energy, because there's a lot of people who don't. Just saying.
Well, I got another reason why people keep the energy. You can be women get off a good groove, right? But being negative, you can't come across a negative woman that's negative all the time. You're full of positive energy, and then your energy is positive, right? Lifting yourself up, and then they lift up with you, right? And then it turns their real self. They start bringing negative fucking energy and just start to drag you down. And it's like, wow, like, damn, like, you the man that's positive. So sometimes you think that your energy is going to uplift others, but at the subsequent effect is the opposite. So that's why some man 180, because women can be negative.
Absolutely.
And it's like, you don't want to be around negative energy, because right now, like, for example, what we're doing right now, this podcast thing, we have a plan, we have goals, right? Lift up. If anybody come in my life, bring this negative energy, like, Jay, I don't like you work with that fine ass Jay Hendo. You can't do that shit no more. It's fucking bring you negative. I dig myself some props.
You called yourself a fine ass. Boy, you better go on.
I'm just like, I'm acting like I'm just creating.
Oh, okay. That's what that is, an acting.
No, I'm joking.
Well,
But no, like, is it a female like, oh, you can't work with Jay, she's too good? Like, they can become jealous. That energy become like a turn off. It's like,
Jealous energy is a huge turnoff.
Yeah.
That leads us into the next topic, right?
What's up?
So the negative, right? It's the same thing with men too. I've met a man before in my past who everything I would call, how's your day? Oh, this shit happened. This is so-and-so. This is so-and-so. And everything is negative. I'm like, can you stop for 1 second and find one positive thing in all that bad? Like one. And so the next thing is, right? If I get into a relationship and I'm not a happy person, doesn't matter how happy that man is, how healed that man is, how much that man is willing to love me, he still can't bring me happiness because I'm not happy with myself. And I feel like a lot of the times people search for happiness in somebody else, or they expect their partner to make them happy. But you can't make somebody who's not happy with themselves happy ever, no matter how hard you try.
Self-love first before you can love on somebody else.
Just saying.
Kevin says, as you were saying about a loud mouse was married to one, that's the way. Communicate with me by yelling.
That's the worst.
Charles said that's the worst. That negative energy is the worst. It is.
It is. Nobody wants to hear that shit.
Now, let me ask you a question, because this works both ways. It is typically women have this bad anxiety. Ooh, you know how you meet somebody. Their anxiety might not show in the beginning, but their anxiety might show later. Some people got extreme cases of bad anxiety. And whether it's a man or a woman, how do you deal with that? Because that's one reason where people don't maintain their energy. That anxiety, you're like, damn, they go through like that. Sometimes it can be a toll. That's why in the beginning when you meet people, when you say you love somebody this quick, you got to really get to learn somebody to know if you really love them, to know if you can put up with situations like that. And the example I give is bad anxiety. What do you think about that?
You know, I've experienced anxiety once in my life, and it was when I lost my grandfather.
Right.
But other than that, I've never really experienced that.
Uh-huh.
And I can't say that I've ever met anybody who has anxiety like that. I have met people who have depression issues, which I'm not laughing at that, but I've never dealt with anxiety. So the me now versus the me 10 years ago, I'm a lot more patient, right? I'm a lot more understanding. I look at things from different perspectives. So I would figure out a way to help that person like work through their anxiety if they were willing to do that. But I've never dealt with that. So I can't speak on that.
Well, that's one of the things we got bad anxiety or personal situations. You might have, I'm going to be honest with you, and it's not even a laughing matter. Like you got to deal with people that got medical conditions like seizures, or no blood sugar. There's stuff you have to be like prepared to handle. This is real shit. So, and this is what causes people to lose consistency. Some people know how to communicate. They feel bad. Oh, I can't handle you having seizures and stuff like that. This is real shit. Nobody wants to talk about that. You hear a lot of podcasts, but you don't hear people talking about dealing with another person's medical condition, whatever it may be. It's tough. It's hard. Even people that's coming back through cancer, through remission, it's people that not built to handle situations like that, and you shouldn't have them in your life anyway if they decide to leave. Because when you go through situations that's tough, you need somebody that's strong by your side that's going to uplift you spiritually, because that can aid you in getting back healthy to wherever you're dealing with.
Yep. I agree with that 100%.
That's one thing, like medical conditions. That's like, well, that goes both ways. Like, man or woman, like you got to be able to deal with somebody's medical condition.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when patience and understanding definitely comes into play.
It tells a lot about a person too.
Yeah.
If you got a person, you go through some things in life, like, for example, I guess you could say medical condition last year. I tore my knee, I learned how to walk and do everything over again. A person dealing with me in that situation, it was a lot, because mentally, going back to like you talk about anxiety or depression, I dealt with that. Never dealt with my life until last year. I dealt with that. And I never knew what it could take to deal with a person that's dealing with depression until I had to go through it myself. So I know what it is. But I know that when you connect it spiritually, this is another thing too. I'm gonna hit you with this. Why people lose consistency. If you spiritually believe in the Most High and you deal with an atheist, and you think that you can go ahead in a relationship dealing with an atheist, you'll come across some things that be like they completely turn you off. Because while you're surviving spiritually, and you go through situations and you hold their hand and try to pray with them, and they don't want to pray because they don't believe in the higher power that you believe in, which is the Most High, that can disconnect you and it completely turn you the opposite direction.
Well, we wouldn't even get that far because if I meet you, you tell me you're an atheist, you going about your business. So
I tried once.
What happened?
Well, it didn't work because same thing. Going through a situation, I was like, hey, let's pray. God will get you through whatever you got to get through. You just gotta have faith and believe. You can't have faith and believe when you decide to go through things. You gotta have faith and believe consistency across the board. Well, it didn't work because I go through some things. I leave in God's hands. All right, God will handle me. Gonna lead me in the right direction. I'm gonna figure it out. Cool. That's how I'm gonna deal with it. So most of this atheist I was dealing with, she was like panic. Led to panic attacks. Most people take medication for panic attacks, but most of your medication could be spiritual. Trust and believe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Absolutely.
Another thing too. No control over emotions. Like, you ever dealt with a guy that blurted out and like started snapping? Like, you met a good guy, he was good, y'all out, and he just fucking just loses his temper.
I can't say that I have.
No guy loses temper like that. I think that's gonna cause some people to like look in the opposite direction. A woman losing her losing her temper, or a man losing his temper. Right.
Well, I haven't dealt with the temper, but I have dealt with, like, I'm a very social person, right? So if I'm out, I meet people and it's just conversation and it's networking, because I always talk about my bartending business and that and this and the other. But I have had somebody be like, why were you so friendly? Like, why were you talking to them? I'm like, because I'm networking and like I'm a grown woman having a conversation with another grown adult. Like, just because I have a conversation with somebody doesn't mean I'm trying to go home with them or get to know them. Like, it's called talking. We're grown. We all do that on a daily basis. So right. I dealt with that, but not the temper situation.
But you just said not being social. So you're a social woman. You go out. You have to. A social person almost have to be another social person. I don't know if you know any relationships where you got a person that's very social and then you got a person that's not very social. Can they coincide together?
I mean, maybe, right? Because maybe it's an even balance because one's this way and the other one's this way. And so like they balance each other out. But, I tell people all the time, like, I'm a very social person. That doesn't mean that I'm trying to get to know that person. Or like, speaking of this topic, I've met people online and then after they talk to me and get to know me and then they want to pursue something, then all of a sudden they're like, I don't like that you're on live. I don't like that people have access to you. And I don't like this and I don't like that. And I'm like, but that's how you met me. And so I'm not on here shaking ass and doing some of the things that a lot of other people are on live doing. I'm on there spreading good positive energy, talking about our podcast, like networking, putting things out there, because if nobody knows about it, they can't support it, right? So I got to talk in order to get it out there, but I've dealt with those things, definitely.
So you said the opposite can work. You could be social and non-social person that should be able to work. However, it's got to be the person that's not social can't be jealous person.
It can't be a jealous person or an insecure person.
Insecure, yeah, right.
They're going to have to be very secure in that situation. And it's something that, again, because I am who I am, so I'm straightforward in the beginning. And I tell them, like, I'm not going to hide shit from you. I'm going to show you everything. But, this is what I do. And, don't tell me you agree and you're okay with it in the beginning. And then once you start liking me or you start feeling some type of way, you're like, oh, I don't like the fact that people have access to you. Well, I'm like, the internet, Jay and Samantha in real life are two different people. Like, in real life, you get to see all of me. The internet just gets to see the social, positive energy, good vibes, spreading information, stuff like that. So I've dealt with that.
So I talked about the parenting thing that people ignore.
The what?
The parenting.
Yeah.
So what do you look for when you meet a guy and you find out he has kids? How do you handle that? Do you pay attention to how he is as a father? And if you do, what are some of the situations that you look at?
So most importantly, before I even ask about kids, I ask about the relationship with their mother. Because the way a man treats his mother will say a lot about the way he's going to treat a woman. And so that's my first question. Then, if that question doesn't scare me away, then I go on to the children's question. You know, do you have kids? I ask like the involvement. I always ask what the relationship is with the mother of their children, because some women have looked at me crazy when I say this, but this is truly how I feel. If a man and the mother of his child cannot be civil enough to talk to each other, I feel like that's a little bit of a red flag for me. You should be able to respect, no matter what has gone on between you two. It's all about the children. You should be able to respect each other and communicate for those kids. And so if you can sit here and call the mother of your children out of her name, talk about her disrespectfully, like, I'm like, okay, so when you get mad at me, is that how that's going to be? Like, if there's something you don't agree with or you don't like, are you going to handle me in that manner? I always look at that. And then, of course, the involvement of their children. Like, if you're not involved, why not? And I know sometimes there are very bitter BMs. Mm-hmm. I've seen that for myself. So, you know, there's those mamas who are like, oh, you ain't taking my kids around the new bitch and all this and that and the other. And it's like, but later on down the road, when they get to know you, they end up liking you, you know? So
right.
I do ask all those questions.
That's pretty interesting, because most people just ask about the kids and how old they are and, oh, this fresh, this, that. Like my situation, people look at me like, oh shit, red flags. But now, it ain't necessarily a red flag. How do I communicate with my kids? I have a very complicated schedule. I see my kids, I make the shit work somehow, some way. I still do the podcast thing. I still make it to the gym. Don't know how. I'm a pretty busy man. And I think that a lot of people are judgmental. And that's why people don't maintain their vibe, because they become too judgmental. They look at a person's situation, don't ask about it, but complete judgmental. And I tell you my situation. 3 kids. I got 3 different baby moms. I tried to marry. I was married. And I was engaged to other 2. So I tried to make each situation work. So it wasn't like a one night stand. However, my kids are well taken care of. They got very good mothers. I have no drama. I maintain. I got my girls. When people see my situation, then pretty much just right off right away, right? But if you actually pay attention to inside my situation, I provide for my kids. They go out and pick up shit they want. My kids are spoiled. Everything. I take care of my own business. No, I got my shit together. I got everything. But people are too judgmental. That's why the energy is lacking. It's not maintained, because people look at a situation, red flag. No, do what you just did. Like you just said, you went through the whole thing about how a man is with his kids, how he is with the kid's mother and everything. And once you go through all that, like you just said, it tells you a lot. But people are so judgmental nowadays. That's what's wrong with the dating game, is that people pass judgmental, but only one person can judge. That's the most high. That's the only thing we got. And people forget that. It's a turnoff. I can't stand judgmental people. Turn off.
That will definitely kill the energy. Definitely.
Yeah. Like, I had one girl. She asked me about my situation, right? She said, "Wait, Candy, I'm gonna read this comment she just posted up. I tend to stay away from men with children because of stress from the children's mother." I tell you this though, that is true. Some children's mother are trash. Luckily, in my situation, my kids have great mothers. They don't like drama. They bougie like me, so they don't like drama. They're not bringing it. They're like career, oriented, driven women. They do. If I have no drama, it's about like a disagreement on me buying like ugly outfits. I can't dress girls, so I just get them moms the money. I just said, forget it. I bought my 3-year-old outfits, and her mom texted like, "Really, Jonathan? What is this?" It was fucked up outfit. I thought I was styling, but I can't dress girls. That's the type of drama I have when I try to be a dad and try to buy my girls something or let them pick out their clothes. And they might be like, "What the fuck is this?" You know what I'm saying? But it's a great. Being a dad is dope. I'm saying being a father. Though. I love being a dad. It's like it's great. Like it's a blessing. I don't know why men don't take advantage of it. I thank the most high for my situation, with my kids. I wouldn't change it for the world. I wish that it was different, but it is what it is. God's got my plan, though.
So I want to touch on Candy's comment because I dealt with this after my divorce and I started dating. I met somebody who I knew back when I was younger, ran into each other, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, he had children. So the kids absolutely adored me. And to this day, we still see each other every now and then. I still check on them with their mom. Like the mom and I are cool now. But back in the day when it was going on, she would call his phone talking shit. Like, I'm going to beat her ass and blah, 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 blah. And so one day I was like, just pull up to the house and just pull up. Like, let's have a conversation. So she pulls up. I'm like, what's the problem? Like, I've done nothing to you and your children. What is the fucking problem? Well, come to find out, it was him being messy because he was still trying to dibble and dabble over there and then do what he wanted to do with me. So it was him being messy, creating the drama. So after we figured that out and we both called him on his bullshit, it stopped and me and her were cool. And then the kids love me and her and I get along. I still wish her a happy Mother's Day. Actually talked to her on Snap yesterday about the kids. Like, there's a few different type of men when they got kids. That's why I tell my son, man, please pay attention to who you have children with. Do not make me a grandma young and do not have kids with somebody stupid, please.
My brother said that earlier, that men determine the relationship they're going to have with the kid's mother for the most part, because if you give them hope, but you got some other stuff going on, but at the same time, give them hope, you're being messy just like he was. You've been messy, you're giving them hope. That's why your situation ain't working. That's why the baby mother's not gonna respect the current girlfriend because you're being messy.
Yes.
You gotta stop that. Don't give them hope. And then women, you gotta pay attention to these red flags. Man, give them out. I believe in this, right? I say for this past Mother's Day, for my kids having such awesome moms, I got every one of them a gift. They are pretty fucking awesome. I get that, but I don't give out like vibes like, "Here go a gift." Ain't none of that, but it's out of respect.
Yeah.
I'm a respectful man. I respect my kids' mom. It helps me maintain that good relationship I have with them. And I'm working on being a better, doing co-parent with them. It's always room for improvement. It also as a result, makes me a better man. In a current relationship if I was to get in. So it's all about being open-minded, understanding. So that's one thing where people want 80 on, since I just mentioned it, people tend to be less open-minded to new things. They pretend to be open-minded in the beginning, but then you got that man you just mentioned, it's my way or the highway. Just those. They tell you like, oh, we could do this. They take you out and do what you want to do. Restrictions on you and stuff like that.
Yeah, we can't do that over here. Like I say, if I'm with somebody, I'm going to be the most respectful. I'm going to let you know my moves. I'm going to let you know what I'm doing, where I'm going, because it's not a control thing. It's a safety thing. Like I've said in the past, I want my man to know where I'm at in case something pops off at any moment, because we all know you can be sitting at a restaurant outside and shots can just open up anywhere. Like,
yep.
But yeah, it's the my way or highway energy that will have your ass walking backwards to leave.
My way or the highway. I don't like doing that though. I can't be a man. I can't control a woman. I don't like that. I actually a man that values a woman's opinion, because when I make decisions, I like to get a woman's opinion for the most part before I even make a decision become official. I like that, to get a woman's part. I don't like a woman that tells me this though. This is why I can't stand as a pet peeve. Whatever you want, babe. No. I actually have an opinion. Like, I need your opinion. Whatever you want. Like, what is that called? Whatever you like. Coming to America. Whatever you like. Whatever you like. I don't want that. It's not whatever I like. I ask you for your opinion. Give me your opinion. It's not whatever I like, because it's not my way or the highway all the time. It's not.
It's not. It shouldn't be. When you're in a partnership, it should be the both of y'all, 100, right? No 50-50, 100.
Yeah.
So that means, you should be discussing anything that is that involves the both of you. You should talk about it and discuss it. And like, for instance, me, I like to I'm spontaneous, right? My cousin and I sometimes will get out of church, take off for the day to the beach, go to the lake, do anything. And I still plan on doing that, even when I'm involved with somebody, but in a respectful manner, right? It's
Right.
if you don't want to go, that's cool. I'm going to go have a girls' day with my cousin. This is where I'll be. I'll be home later. Like, there
Right.
should be no, it's my way or the highway. That ain't going to get you nowhere in life. That type of energy is going to keep you single.
Yeah, it is. Like, who wants to be somebody that's my way the highway? I just can't. I can't vibe like that. Like, I just can't. A woman just sit. Don't do what I like to do. Don't. Just don't. I don't like that. Is your opinion. Like, especially first of all, another thing too. And this might sound weird. And this is with me. It's my personal thing I came up with. What could turn me away? A woman is not organized. I don't give a fuck how good you look. I don't give a damn how good your coochie is. I don't give a shit if you're not organized. We can't be long term. I'm not an organized man. I can't be organized. I need to. I just love an organized woman. I just love it. A woman that's completely unorganized that forgets, and memories like mine. How can you compliment me? Let's be for real. Let's think long term. It's not
I
about
mean, that
ass,
makes sense.
titties. That's good. Don't get me wrong. I love all that. But I love a woman that can compliment me, that is organized. Like, baby, I got this. You got to do this. You got to do that. That shit is so sexy. Organization, number one. You can't be so it just turns me off. Maybe I'm at an age where I look at different shit. Don't get me wrong. Physical things impress me. I love some. I love titties.
Come on, start. Don't get us kicked off.
I can't get us kicked off. We talk about titties. The internet love titties. They love what they promote. They probably push the show of views as long as I don't talk about the other shit.
Right.
So, but it goes deeper than that, like the organization, organized. And I think most women probably don't believe this though, but that can lead men to go the opposite direction. Like I told you before, I can go to a woman's house. I'm very observant. I used to be like in my younger days. Now I'll look at, okay, she's organized, house clean. She got these nice pictures hung up. I'm gonna take my shoes off. If I don't take my shoes off in your house and I walk in, that means that we don't have a future.
Okay.
We don't. That means I don't. This house dirty as hell. It's not organized or respected. I'm not being critical. Just something I'm paying attention to. I'm not. My house like a bachelor pad. You go to my house like a bachelor pad. Yes, clean. You can walk here barefoot. I don't have pictures up on the wall. Of me autograph. I don't have none of that. So, but organization is important though for me. So that can be one reason where I lose interest because you're not organized, and it's not being judgmental. It's just an organized woman. I think is important that compliments me. Like it's things you probably want, Jay, that a guy has to have that's non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
Organization is that for me.
Absolutely.
So, what is yours though? What is non-negotiable? What does a man have to have that you just can't not vibe with if they don't
Some
have?
common sense.
But everybody should like that. Should be done.
No. That's another talk. That's another time, Jay. That's a lot. We can go on and on about that all night long.
Okay.
That's yeah, it's compromise, right? Somebody has to be willing to compromise and come out of their comfort zone with me because like I said, I like to do things. I like to go places. There's so many to that. Like so many, but
I said, yeah, that could lead off to a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the non-negotiable. I just actually came to the conversation like shit. Like, what is non-negotiable? It's like certain people you just talk to. It's just certain things. The shit's non-negotiable. They gotta have it or not. You know what I'm saying? So let me get this thing. This is a totally different topic. It just can't pop off my head, and I'm not gonna even mention it right now. I'm gonna wait to the end of the show. Love language. Like knowing a person's love language can lead a person to do 180 and go in the opposite direction.
I gotta plug in my computer. Sorry, I'm listening.
So, love language, right? Man, we're not gonna sit about and talk about love language, right? We're gonna be like, man, dog, my love language is physical touch. You know what I'm saying? Men not gonna talk about that. Probably that's when we bring up the topic. So, I think just like a man, at some point, got to learn a woman's love language. That vice versa. It's got to be heard in some way. So women think, like, for example, I think this lady before, she's like, oh, I'm going to dress you in these clothes. We go shopping, get you these clothes. It's like, I don't wear skinny jeans. Well, big dude, the hell like wearing skinny jeans. And like, I don't wear name brand expensive stuff. I'm not going to the mall spend $300, $400 on one outfit. That's just not me. Pay attention to how I dress, pay attention to my needs. So women like to actually put their thoughts on the man needs or his wants or whatever. They like to implement their own instead of looking at and observing to see what that man his needs or his wants is. Like, what is love language? You can't just fixate your love language on somebody else. So doing stuff like that, and man, we're not gonna explain it this way, like, man, she knew my love language, trying to turn her away. It's just like sometimes it gets annoying where, she's buying me all this expensive stuff. I don't need this. I don't need like I need a pack of t-shirts. I don't need a $50 pack of t-shirts, I forgot what kind of shirts they were. I can't remember. $50 for 3 t-shirts, the right way to go to bed, doesn't make sense. That's not my love language. I'm not into name brand things. It could be a turnoff. And especially some men, they like that, but that's not their love language. But man's not going to talk about, man, maybe my love language is this. Especially the macho man like myself. I'm not going to talk about that. Like, hey, man, it's my love language. I need me physical touch. Did you touch me? Well, probably role play, something like that.
I feel like if a woman is observant, she's going to catch on to your love language anyway. You can pick up on those things sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. Like I tell everybody, mine is time, because I've given y'all the story about the time with my grandfather. How he taught me a lesson about wasting people's time. So I'm very appreciative of time, because if somebody can give me 5 hours out of their day, they could have been making money somewhere. They could have been doing whatever. So time for me is like the number one, and then second is physical touch, but it's hard. I've asked some men when I'm dating, like, about their love language, and they're like, love language, I don't know. Like, how do you not know what makes you happy? How do you not know? Do you like somebody sitting next to you rubbing your arm while you're talking? Because some folks don't like to be touched at all,
Damn, I like to be touched at all. That's kind of weird, though. I don't like to be touched at all. So you ask a man that question, and he doesn't know. Never thought about it. It's kind of like weird. When we ask a man that, we explain to him what love language is. There's a book out. Actually, I actually have the book. I actually read the book, Love Languages. It's pretty interesting. That's where you gotta have an open mind, and most men probably won't do this. Just buy the fucking book, read it. It makes a lot of sense. You get a good understanding. You know the 5 love languages, but actually going to depth with the 5 love languages is pretty dope. But most men who don't know what it is, women, like you say, observing it should be able to tell anyway, and you can tell a man what his love language is. But time, I think everybody love like time is important, and you just can't waste it.
Time is very important. I've told somebody in the past, like, I would drive 3 hours just to spend an hour with you, because I know you're busy and I'm busy. But if that's all the time we have, like, I would do that. And they're like, what? That's crazy. Like, you just don't understand the value of time then. You got to understand the value of time.
You know what? Let me tell you something. I'm going to say this for people who have ever been in a long distance relationship. They probably don't look at it like me. But let me tell you what's exciting about long distance relationship. Especially when you got to fly. The fact that it is time, right? The fact that you're taking time on this journey, either whether you take a road trip or you're flying to go and see a person appreciates you. I mean, clarify that. A person that appreciates you. To get on that flight and plane, you get even more excited to see them because you're taking the time out, and it's valuable time because you got to go that distance, right? And most people say, well, I don't want to know long distance relationship. I got to have my person right there and there. But the excitement to have somebody, because the thing is, I said this before, right? You say you want this man that have these characteristics, right? And you geographically dim yourself into like a 2-hour range. I can't do long distance. But how do you know what God got for you? You don't know. And if you believe in the spirit of the Most High, you don't know what God has for you. You can't sit here and say what you want. You got to pray about what you want, and God will deliver. You can't tell God, no, this is what I want. He got to be in 30 minutes. And God will tell you, hey, this guy's out here for you, but he's not within your 30-minute round range. And I dare you argue with the Most High and tell him that he's wrong. Because now you're not being spiritually gifted on or believing that he can grant you that. So time, You get the plane, and it's somebody that's worth it, and you get the plane. It's that whole ride, that excitement. You see the stories on TikTok, right? When people meet on TikTok and they feel they look
All these long distance love stories.
long story. It's a lot of these people I know I follow. They still together. You gotta be open minded, and you gotta just take a limit off of love. Love can be found. We all try to put a limit on it. Every last person that's watched this goddamn show has done it. We try to limit ourselves. Like, I ain't talking about it. Got this, got this, got this. You don't know what God has for you. You know what you want, but God's gonna give you what you need. But because you limit yourself and telling God you want this, this, and this, I want $10 million tomorrow. Am I gonna get it? I gotta work my way to go get it. But you gotta just like not set it, just be open. You just never know. Love might be next door. Love might be like shit, 800 miles away. You don't know.
You're right. That also kind of feeds back to the I can't make the other person in my relationship happy unless they're happy, right? So when I was talking about that, somebody asked me, so would you shy somebody away because they're not happy with themselves yet? And I'm like, no, because what if that is my person, but they're going through a storm right now? You know, storms don't last forever, but I do carry such a energy and positive outlook on things that I'm willing to help that person be happier by supporting them while they go through that.
Right.
You know, but I always say that, like, I'm not going to block my blessings. You know, that we brought up the topic in the girls' night that night about meeting somebody who was, you know, just different types of men. You shouldn't block your blessings because of certain things, but you have to be observant also. Like, you know, there's just so much to it. So much.
It is. I'll read this comment, and Ashley said, it's far apart, but you might find out you really don't like them if you spend longer periods around each other.
That is so true.
That's true.
You know, they say back in the day, right? You didn't live together before you got married, but
today you gotta live together.
Today you have to. Like, if we live together and I can't stand your ass, it ain't gonna work.
But people show these red flags before you moving together. We just be so caught in the love story where there's certain shit you gotta address before you even get to that point. Like, you see shit. I'm the type of person right now, if I see it, I'm gonna call it out. I used to be ignoring it, like, okay, I'm gonna just live this love story and it's gonna be great. It's like, it's gonna be awesome. But I chose to ignore something that became a bigger deal.
Hey, talk closer to your mic because you sound kind of far away.
No bad. I think it's me coughing. So I decided to like ignore things that became a bigger deal, like later. You know what I'm saying? So, and I, as Ashley said, sometimes it don't come out until you're under the same.
That
roof.
is true.
Let me tell you something. Paying attention is the most significant thing you can do. A lot of shit comes out before you get on that roof. We decide to ignore things. If you pray and ask God, God tells you things, whether you want to ignore it or not. I know in my situations I've been in is because I chose to ignore things. I chose to ignore a lot of stuff that happens in my previous relationships that end up being big later. God told me before, each one of my situations that didn't work, I chose to ignore. You know what I'm saying? My ex-wife was cool, but God ain't blessed me in that marriage. Let's keep it 100. God didn't bless. I prayed about it. I was told I could do it, but guess what? I did anyway, and it didn't work. You waste time when you ignore, you know what I'm saying, the spiritual messages that you receive. And I'm not trying to have church tonight. I'm just keeping it 100.
That is true, Jay, but that also boils down. I mean, that also comes back to when somebody introduces you to an energy that they are portraying. Sometimes you don't see those red flags because they're very good at hiding those. If this is somebody who's been through multiple dating ships and they're used to covering up who they are and they're used to hiding things, you ain't gonna see those right away. You're not.
I can sense. I don't know. Maybe because I do what I do for a living, I can sense bullshit. And I'm gonna tell you, the last situation I was dealing with, I knew the bullshit. I knew even after the situation, like, you really didn't even like her like that. It was just like something to do. You weren't attractive. You tried to make yourself attractive and everything. It was just cool for the minute. But she wasn't really in your level. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to make her on your level. it's certain things we start accepting that's too much and we go along with it because it's cool, you're being nice, but you're really not even from that person. We see stuff. And if you're a big person that sit, God sends you messages. We just, as human beings, we choose to ignore it. And
You're right. We do sense things and see things, but sometimes a motherfucker's really good about hiding shit. I don't give a damn what you say.
So I'm gonna read this. Actually, you also have to be able to recognize actual red flags versus something that only annoys you. You get on somebody's nerves, but it's a matter of choosing the person worth the annoyance.
Exactly. What are you willing to tolerate?
You know what? If the pros outweigh the cons, and there's a little bit of annoyance, this is what I say, and that's true. Nobody's picture perfect. There's nobody picture perfect. We know what you can deal with and what you can't deal with. Sometimes the stuff that we know we can't deal with, like I told you, me. I be the one that's not organized, and I go in there. Her bathroom's dirty. She keeps dirty bathroom. I can never, no one. I can't get used to that shit forever, and I try to deal with it, and I complain about the same thing. She was dirty before I met her, so it's gonna be the same. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like putting up with stuff that you know it's not gonna work. You know, something that annoys you. Nobody's picture perfect, but it's how you communicate, though. Communication is key. I don't care if you're 800 miles away, 5 miles away. The way you communicate is important. And let me tell you something. If you are doing long distance, but you have access to that person at all times, you make them feel comfortable, it's a different thing. Now, me myself, I can be a very busy person or whatever. And I need people to be on my ass. Because I can be busy. I can be like I had my situation I told you the other day. That knocked me out the game. So it's just like sometimes I can be busy and communication like, babe, you all good? What the hell's going on? Oh, I got this going on, got this going on. I can send pictures. It's just like communication. Don't assume. Communicate. And I think that's one way that people do the 180 and they lose the energy, they'll maintain it because I myself don't like to be around people who assume the worst. You know, understand what I do for a living. It can be very busy, or I can have time where I can talk my ass off. I somehow make time, and I sometimes get busy, but sometimes it will take days where you might do on a call, and sometimes I'm gonna be blowing your ass up. It's just communication. That's all it takes. I let you know. My board, because now I said I got free time. You know, I'm texting everybody, calling everybody. I'm doing. But then I got times where I work 16-hour days, 20-hour days. I work my ass off. So communication. I just like people assume. Don't assume the worst.
So what happens when you're not communicating and you're like, sorry, I was busy, I this, that, and the other, and it's a continuous thing, right?
Right.
So this leads into my next question. So why do we as individuals, why do we ignore when somebody is continuously apologizing, saying, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry about this, I'm sorry about that, I was busy, this, that, and the other, I'll do better. And you continue that pattern. Why do we ignore that? Why don't you recognize that this person has said sorry 15 fucking times and nothing has changed? And why do we tolerate that?
And we that's the problem. Going back earlier, we tolerate red flags that continuously they're not going to change it.
But is it because you see the good in somebody, so you hope that they can change? Or is it because you just don't want to be lonely, so you stick with the same situation? Like,
just that what you just said. Some women. So it goes back to what I'm saying in past podcasts that sometimes a pool of men is not available to women like that. I think men have more opportunities than women because society is a different story. I'm not going into details about that. So women that don't want to be lonely have a tendency to stick with that situation just for the sake of and deal with that shit. Or maybe they hope they can change. Here's the thing. A man know what they want and a man will make time. That is true. When you get to know a man and you know that he is busy, like a man like myself, I can get busy as hell. I don't like assumptions though. Assumptions can turn me off. I might ignore you. I'm making time. If I get up in the morning, I might, like you. I know you put up your morning messages in the morning. That's motivating, by the way. I love that. I put up a message in the morning. I read my scripture. First thing I get up before I text anybody, I got my Bible app. I read the scripture. I read why the scripture states the way it do, and I read how it relates to life. My morning messages are based off the scriptures that I read in the morning. The first thing I do. So I'm not rolling over telling anybody good morning. No, my scriptures come first. What I might do after that, I might record a morning message and to give away. My thing is that like it takes time. Don't assume because I'm not responding to you right away when I get up, whatever. It's just sometimes it takes teamwork, right? It might be days you might say good morning 4 or 5 times in a row. Then I get those off days. It might be days I wake up, hey, what's up? It rotates, it fluctuates. The energy goes back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
All about communicate, like you just said. Communication is key. Um, Going back to what you said, why people going back, what'd you say? I'm sorry, I forgot, I'm sorry. You gotta pick and choose that time. And it might not be a red flag, but you might have to sit down like, hey, you have time for me, let me know. And you'll fuck a person up. Because like Ash just said, no one is ever that busy. You can be busy, but
What I say, it takes 2 seconds to send I'm busy, I'll call you later. 2 seconds.
yeah, it does. It takes busy. I call you later. It does. Or now I'm gonna say this because it was on my list. But man can't do that. You're probably talking to multiple women. That's just facts. Man can't see your text 2 seconds. I'm busy. They go MIA. They're talking to multiple women. Man, I'm sorry if I gave up your secrets, but I'm telling the truth.
You know, I've seen so many TikToks of this lately. I guess because I talk about these topics on our lives and stuff, but there's so many men saying that. If a man is not texting you back, he is not interested. Yeah. Point blank.
Not interested, but man, we communicate. Probably no, we don't. Some people don't. They're gonna tell you that they're not interested. Some men just like you can tell a man energy will throw you off and then let you know whether they're interested or not. Or a man lets you know they're talking to multiple people. It could be either or. I'm talking to multiple people or they're just not interested. From this day and age, men are probably talking to multiple people because there's just so many women available that's willing to settle down. Some men have that option. And I hate to say it, not saying it is right, but it's just the way the world is right now.
Men ghost a lot. Oof, we could talk about that one.
Women ghost a lot too. Let me tell you something. Some women don't recognize blessings right in front of them. They don't. They just like
maybe do men.
And men do it too. Men do it, women do it. Men typically have reasons why they might step over those blessings too. Women, I don't know. I can't speak for a woman. I can tell you something about men probably step over it, in which I'm like giving out right now. Which I'm gonna say one. I got one more. I got another one. Men, we like compliments, but we're not gonna beg for compliments, right? We're not gonna be like sister, like baby, you don't compliment me how my cologne smell, how I look. But like, if you get a haircut or you get something else, men in our minds, we ain't gonna say nothing. But what registers woman, oh, your haircut look nice. That shit registers in your head. It registers like, damn, okay, she noticed that. You're not gonna like be a little bitch, like, baby, you're not gonna haircut. You notice it? No, man. Do that shit like you notice I got a haircut, be a little whip. But compliments, women that observe and pay attention to their man is key. And if they don't, that's when people can do that 180 and they ghost you.
It's like I say, them little things count.
Yeah, the little thing that matters.
It's them little bitty things that count. It's not always about something big.
Be 800, 700 miles away from me, like, Jay, your haircut is nice. I'm gonna do this, feed you. I'll be in the plane. Southwest.
You're headed to your woman, huh?
You know what I'm saying? But that's the excitement and everything. So except other people like clean. Wait till Thursday though. Jay, I saw you roll your eyes. Did you just roll your eyes at me on live? I just saw you roll your eyes at me.
No. Just saying.
No, but no, seriously, man, just like we got to get women compliments. She had to follow up with that. You don't look homeless no more. All right. But she better get out about to say, God damn. I'm going to ask you a question. But just like women like compliments, men like compliments too. But we're not going to tell you that, though. We're not going to go like,
I mean, if you're really into your person, you're going to compliment them anyway. Like, that's the part of the good morning, handsome, or, like you're going to compliment your person if you're into them. So that's going to come naturally.
But how many women do that though? See, this is the thing about today's world.
How many women don't do that? Like, you don't tell your man, women that are on here watching, y'all don't tell your man that he is like looking scrumptious today, or like, I want to just, do whatever I want to do to you right now because of the way you're looking. Like, you don't tell your men that every day. Because if I had a man here in person, I'd be, look, I'm gonna give you that look. You already gonna know what that means. That's your compliment right there. That look.
Let me tell you something. A lot of women today, not all, but a lot of women today want men to take the foot. They want them to do everything. They want them to compliment to all their needs, do everything. They ask for this, but a lot of women don't want to put forth no effort. And that's why a lot of men ghost women, a lot of real men ghost them because, okay, I'm putting in X, Y, and Z. What the fuck are you doing? There's some little things that we like. We're not asking you to go half of the bills. That's a man's thing. We're going to make you feel comfortable. We're going to provide everything. But after a while, we're going to be giving all of you. And I'm not talking about like monetary, like money and everything. I'm talking about all the personal things.
The
like,
pouring in.
Yeah. It's like, but women, you giving us like, oh, he's supposed to be doing this. Your ass supposed to be doing something. That's the women that men avoid. And that's a lot of women like that in this country that is giving. They're not giving, but it's giving. Give it to me. Give it to me. They're not giving out no energy though. Because it's like, oh, my man's supposed to do this. My man's supposed to do that. And those women overshadow, make it bad for the women that do give that love that man wants. It's too many of those women that all about themselves is overshadowing the women that are real women in this world. You got a lot of women that got that feminine attitude, and I'm independent this, I'm independent that. Like, they overshadow the good women.
Yeah.
And men meet them. I ain't gonna lie, they fuck us up. You meet these women and they have the attitude. It's like, fuck that. Like, why should I be putting all my 20% in and I just dealt with this clown and she gave like 20%. She didn't meet, they don't meet the energy. Man, that's what we fuck up at. We deal with women, they don't meet our energy levels. We decide to like know that shit sometimes or whatever. But it'd be nice to get you get a woman. Like a woman can do this, right? One be like, hey, you need anything, and anything, and anything. That's not my love language, what I need. That's cool to offer. I love that. Or whatever. And I'm pretty stubborn to a certain extent. But that doesn't impress me. Well, I ain't gonna lie, I said doesn't impress me. Let me take that back. I ain't say doesn't impress me, but it's like other things that I pay attention to. Anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. But like the little things to me is what matters. The very little things.
Yeah, we've talked about that on every podcast. That's one of the most important things in maintaining something healthy, I believe, is, knowing your partner well enough to fulfill all that and to pour into them that way.
Yeah, pour it together. Pour it all into like that. So, got another one. While men take 180. Now you meet a woman, right? Get this good energy. You got month 1, month 2, but you deal with a negative influence that they're surrounded by. And that could be both men and women, both sides, right? Negative influence could be friends and family. That's why people might about face and turn around. Because a woman can hang around, let's say, a friend that's a super tramp, or a friend that got a big mouth and give off bad advice. That could be like so annoying for guys, like, fuck this. And then you're not trying to like date a friend, nothing like that. But a friend is so involved in her life where it becomes annoying. I'm making about face. Like, fuck it. I can't deal with that. And you ain't finna tell a woman pick her or me because I've been their friend for years. But sometimes a friend can be too much involved. Or a family member could be too much involved in life. Like a man, the baby boys, their mama all involved in their lives. I don't know if you've done with that before. That could be it.
I've never had to deal with a mama's boy, but so I'm gonna speak on what you're talking about real quick because so my best friend, she knows everything about me, everything. Uh-huh. And the last situation I was in a while back, because she had met that person and like felt the vibe and the energy in person, when I was being doubtful on some stuff, she was like, bestie, give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, he's always been straight up with you. Like, just hear what he's got to say. Like, she was very supportive of him in that situation. But I understood it, right? Because she's met him. She saw how we vibed together. Like, she saw everything. So that's that best friend that's going to tell me when I need to pay attention to things. And she's also that best friend that's going to correct me when I'm jumping to assumptions instead of listening and hearing out the situation. But what you're saying, I understand completely. That is why when I am dealing with somebody, I keep my personal life as private as I can. Like, I'll talk to the girls about certain things,
right?
But at the same time, like, I don't ever want an issue that arises in my relationship or situation, whatever it is, to be because of somebody else. But I also believe that comes from being a strong-minded person. If you have your own mental and you don't have to live by what everybody else is telling you to do, then that shouldn't be an issue anyway.
It shouldn't. But somebody that's jealous in your circle and see potential situation, and people are evil, they will secretly ruin it. Like, girl, don't deal with that. Don't deal with that.
Because they're not happy.
Right. They're not happy, and they're not blessed. You know what I'm saying, with the same blessings you have in front of you. So people will be jealous or whatever. They get jealous. So that negative influence, and let me tell you something else. And we talk about this. You say it in your morning messages every morning. Lack of kindness. Lack of kindness. Kindness is so easy. Just be kind. I hear you say it in your message in the morning.
I say that every day.
Be kind.
Be kind. It's not hard.
No.
There's so much negative around us every single day. It's not hard to be kind. Like, our world is so fucked up.
Yeah.
So, and that's something too, like, when I meet somebody and then, they're not happy with me being on live and I don't understand why you have to do that. Like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, if you've met me from being online and you're listening to what I have to say all the time, how can you not understand why? Like, I want to spread good positive energy and good vibes, and positivity and kindness is like something that we lack every day. I had a lady who was so ugly to me yesterday because she showed up for her wrong appointment time and was like, I told her, we're not having this conversation. You're not going to talk to me like that. Like, you can go on about your business. But kindness.
It takes more energy to be mean.
Yes, it does.
More energy to be mean. It does.
Yes, it does.
So when I go through my stories, because I always post my stuff, I come across some things. It's like the motivation. It's easy, and I'm gonna tell you, with social media, it's easy for people to follow somebody that could be that positive motivator. Like, read some of these messages, whatever. Not just the ignorant shit all the time, because that shit gets old. The energy, that kindness you get off in the morning, whether it's social media. Let's say you talk to somebody, and I used to date someone.
I've done in a bit.
I used to get those little good morning vibes off. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, that kindness, just give out that energy. So another thing, lastly, I'll state, and this is my personal thing. So I'm a man. I love music. A lot of my messages that I like to articulate comes from music. More old R&B music than this new music, because I don't know what the fuck this new music is. Like, I don't know what the fuck that is. It's just workout music for me. But no, honestly, like R&B music, like Musiq Soulchild. I think that this would be personally, I'm personally speaking. So this don't speak for all men. I love a man. I'm a man of music. So sometimes if I'm vibing to a song, I like to share that song. So I've done this in the past where people they just heart it. You know, when people don't listen to shit, they just heart the song, right? I'm like, you see the message, they didn't listen to it? Oh yeah, I listen to it. The worst thing you can do is lie. The little lies. Now, let me tell you, that's what I was getting to. The little lies is what make men 180. The little lies. Like, I'm using music as an example because if you ain't listen to the shit, why lie?
Right.
It's the little lies. But man, we don't trip about that right away because we like what up, Ant? We like, we're kings. So we put that little lie in the back pocket and we wait to see what else you gonna lie about, like women do. But man, we stuff that shit in the pocket. We stuff it down because we're not really complaining. Women call the shot right away, man. We typically don't call out right away, but like for me, music, like I think sharing music, a lot of messages are in music, older music. We go back to the 90s, R&B, 80s, 70s, 80s, 2000s, early. A lot of messages in music and stuff like that. I think that if you meet somebody, well, me, compatible in music, I think is real big because a lot of, like I said, a lot of messages in through music. So if you sing a song, you don't necessarily have to say something. That message could be in the song. So when somebody sends you a song with some lyrics, listen to it if you love music. I think that's one thing for me personally. I have to share a comment with somebody is we have to be compatible on music. That's in all genres, like that's R&B, pop, whatever. I got one heathen story to tell.
I agree with you though on that because I'm the type of person like if I hear a song and it makes me think of you, I'm gonna send it to you and let you know like this made me think of you.
Yeah, that's right. So one funny story. So fuck it, I'm gonna tell it. This is many years ago, it was over decades ago. Dated this girl, right? And she listened to nothing but gospel music. Nothing. No, I listen to gospel music sometimes, but I'm not a gospel music 24/7 guy, right? So I'm on this road trip, right? And all I heard was, "Do you want a revolution?" Oh, okay, all right, we can get Kurt Franklin. So now I want to listen to R&B, and she just was not into my music. So it's like I really can't. This is the red flag for me. I really can't vibe with a woman to listen to gospel 24/7. Like I just can't. I like to switch up to my music soul child. You know what I'm saying? My Genuine back in the day. You know Trey Songz, Joe. I like to mix it up. It's like church music all day. Nothing wrong with church music, guys. You know, I pray and believe, but I just don't do church music 24/7. I mix it up. I go to the gym. I listen to some music to get me going. So I try to like act like I was that guy too, you know, pretend it's something you ain't in the beginning, you know, that guy. Yeah,
He's putting that fake persona out there.
I'll put that fake persona out there. And I just got tired one day, like, I can't. I'm gonna drive myself crazy. That's why, man, you can't keep it up. You just get frustrated, like, damn, I can't do this really. I'm fronting. And you just disappear. And I think with her, I ain't gonna lie, I just disappeared. I just couldn't I couldn't be like that 24/7. That's just not me, not my character. I give off the energy, I pray, and I'm just not doing it 24/7. I'm just a real person. I'm a real man. I just can't, you know. I've done it before, so I act like I'm a perfect person. I did it. She's a cute girl, so I tried to use gospel music 24/7 to get with her.
So when you ghosted her, did she try to find you?
She just
no. Listen, what I'm about to ask you. Did she try to find you to get some closure from that situation?
Nah, because
that's my next question.
She knew I was a heathen.
So, do you feel like, Jay, have you done this in any of your past, relationships when y'all are going through things and the separation? Do you feel like getting closure from somebody can be a good thing or a bad thing?
So I used to think getting closure really shouldn't matter. It was not necessarily a good or bad thing. It was a good thing not getting it, but sometimes the situation I was in previously, I didn't really get the closure I want, but the closure is subsequently comes to you and you get it spiritually. And no lie, like people don't probably believe in that. And this last situation is how I got it. I didn't necessarily get closure. I was treating this girl like super, super dope. So we had good chemistry, good everything, it seemed. But in the aftermath, after we separated, I realized that I forced myself to feel a certain situation. I got the closure of my own. How I thought I felt, I didn't feel that way. And I tried to get close from her, and she went from like, hey, can't wait to see this go. I can't wait to see where this relationship goes to I don't want to do it no more. I'm like, huh? That's kind of weird. This is going great. You scared of failure? Like I didn't understand what was her reason, but the real reason I found out is that I wasn't really as interested as I thought. So I got closure, honestly, through just like prayer and let it hit me. It just hit me one day. I was driving and it just hit me. I'm like, damn, you really didn't like her. She had some cool moments, but she's not your future. So it's good that she did that because eventually I was gonna start feeling like I'm not feeling this situation, so I'm going on with it. But it happened. You get your own closure sometimes, you know. So I think it used to be bad, but I think it's good. And if you can't get it from that person, don't force it. It's gonna come to you eventually.
And I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I've had a situation where I needed some closure because I had questions, right? Like,
Right.
how do you go from being this to this? Like within a split second. Like, and so I sat back and I wondered because I got the closure I needed. I got the conversation. I got the information that I needed to hear. It wasn't in the way I wanted to hear it, right? I wanted to have a face-to-face conversation and let's talk about this. But I got the closure and I felt better because in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is how this was going. And then all of a sudden it was just like flatline. Like, how does that just happen?
Yeah.
So she makes a good point. Closure isn't necessary. They show you where you stand, but sometimes those unanswered questions though, like, because I'm that type of person, like, talk to me, tell me what the fuck I did, tell me what the fuck is going on, like, where's the problem, because if it's something that I've done, I want to know so that I don't do it in the future. Like, talk to me about where I went wrong if that's the case. But a lot of the times that incident that I'm speaking of wasn't my fault. Nothing was my fault. So because I know that I had done nothing wrong, and I know that I had gave the person who I am the first time and maintained that energy. Like, I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I need to know. Like, I want to know.
But why do you want to know though? So here's the thing, in that situation with you, you know what you bring to the table. You're a shining star. If a person want to dip and disappear and not take advantage of a shining star, like Candy said, they show you where you stand. They show you that, so they disappear. It's like, what happened? Okay, this great thing, you just left it. You fucked up. You'll be back. You got to kind of have a swagger and cockiness to it, so you know where you are. You know what you bring to the table. You know what you did as a woman was you good. Not that you don't necessarily need to know what happened, so you would do a next situation, because they missed. They dropped their blessings. They dropped the bag. They dropped it.
Yeah.
Take the energy to somewhere else. Well, somebody's gonna communicate with you. It's immature to like do that and disrespect somebody. It's a sign of disrespect. So at the same time, you don't need that energy. But at the same energy, it bothers you initially, but after a while, you're like, fuck it. Like me, and people call it arrogance, whatever. Call it what you want to call it. I've been down to my last $10. I've been down to where depression hit me hard. But with my spirit, the way I rose, where I'm at now, and where I'm about to go, you can't tell me shit. I know what I bring to the table to a woman. I'm a king. I don't give a fuck what you say about my situation or what you view. I'm a king. I know what I bring. I bring energy. I bring good things. I know I'm not for every woman, but I'm damn sure a rare man out of the many men in this world. There are men like me, but they're rare. I bring a certain type of energy, just rare. So when a woman, I deal with a woman that dealt with bullshit her whole life, and then she like dissed herself to me, like and like ghost, that's cool. Bye. And it's cocky, but you'll be back. Because most motherfuckers out there, they're full of shit. A lot of men are. They're full of lies. Guess what? I didn't lie to you. This is my life. This is what it is. I'm gonna present it to you. It's my shit. Ain't no secrets. I'll be honest. Let's roll down this road together. Now, if you don't like respect, if you don't like being catered to, if you don't like nobody making time for you, if you don't like none of the above, that's cool. You go bye-bye, you go ghost. I'm not saying that I'm every gift to every woman, because I'm not. And you might find another man down the line. But the way the world works today, good fucking luck. I don't have time to waste. So I'm not really reaching out. And sometimes it's stressful. I'm not reaching out like, damn, what the fuck happened? So now I got this swagger like, shit, all right, peace out. You know what I'm saying? Moving on. Because Spirit told me to move on. The Spirit told me to waste time. Maybe they want to go deal with the devil. I'm done. It's a wrap. So I think Ed said it too. A person's actions
is enough closure.
Yep.
That is very true. That's very true.
That's not closure. Sometimes you might deal with people that may be jealous of you because the world is like weird nowadays. You might deal with people that might you have a certain success and you can be just as genuine as you can be, and they might be like, "Damn, I can't deal with that." A lot of men are like that though. A lot of men that be successful women, but successful women that learn to be submissive to men, regardless of their status, men can't handle women making more. They just go ghost. And that's not your fault, women, because you're successful. You got a lot of stuff going on. The men see like, oh, it's too much. Let me tell you something. It's not about money value. Learn about a person's personality and character. Don't judge by what you see or what they got or what happened in their past. Judge that person. Don't only judge. See that person for who they are now. That's a problem that we got in this dating world. That's why
Yep.
shit can't see because people are too judgmental. And I want that. I want the next. You don't know what you're missing. You don't know. First of all, check in with your spiritual self and see what you're missing. If you're an atheist, I can't really help you out. I can't help out the atheist, you know.
That goes back to your partner can't make you happy if you're not a happy person. That's what all that falls back to.
You can tell and pay attention to the person's social media because people just put stuff on their social media like the world is against me. This is it. And that's a sign of people dealing with like they're negative. And I mentioned that before, like that negative energy will just point you in the opposite direction. Like, damn, you can't deal with that. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy though. And that's the closure. Like people's closure, if they really got a situation or they ghost, like Ed said, that's your closure right there. Like they character and what they did just gave you the closure you need.
That's true.
Put yourself on the pedestal. You're a
That's
woman.
true.
You're a damn queen. You know what you're bringing to the table. You just got to bring it to the right man. Man, you know you're a goddamn king. Bring that to the right woman. You know what you bring to the table. If a motherfucker ghosts you, fuck them. You stand on a high pedestal. Never bring yourself down to a low level of bullshit. Keep yourself up high and keep fucking moving because guess what? There's a blueprint for you and life goes on. You can't let a person distract you from reaching your goals and continuing your blueprint because they decide to go in the opposite direction that you want to go because they
Absolutely.
don't appreciate you. Fuck them. Move on. Period.
Fuck them. Move on. Period.
Just
Just like that.
Just like that. That's your closing. Like,
Just like that.
like no situation, Jay. You know what you bring to the table. You good woman. Fuck him. Like, it's so many men full of shit. I get it. It is so many men full of shit.
But it's the
That's-
same way for the men and the women too. Like it's not all just men and it's not all just women. Like there's just too many people who are not authentically themselves in the beginning.
I think for women, for men, let me tell you something right. This what I've noticed in the dating world is for men, we can tell a bullshit woman very quickly than a woman can tell from a man because a man put on a good front. Right. And like you say, sometimes they hide that shit real good. You gotta really pay attention to a man that can get the red flags, right? I get it. But for a woman, man, we see the shit in the beginning. We see the shit in the beginning. And it's clear as day. It's clear. Sunny skies is clear. Now, women, you might get a partly cloudy, man. You gotta really pay attention to the shit. Like, get the clouds away. You full of shit. I see that. But for men, for women, we see the shit. That the dating world is made as clear as day for men to see these red flags that women can see them for men, and it's clear. And social media has made it very damn clear for men to see it. Vice versa, but mainly for women. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm not.
Hello, Bro Tuck. Thank you for tapping in. Those are some of the TikTok family coming in.
Are they in the house? What's up? What's up? What's up? You know,
Yes, thank you to everybody who comes in and supports. We greatly appreciate it.
yeah. Before we go, I don't know how I missed this one. Taking care of yourself. You're a man or woman, and I know you probably see men and send people in the opposite direction 180 if you don't take care of yourself. That's your turn off. You take care of yourself. That's your turn off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Absolutely.
That's one thing. So
Taking care of yourself includes taking care of your mental.
Yes, it is.
Getting that mental right. I say that all the time. I say that on my lives all the time. If you're not mentally happy, stop trying to get involved with somebody. Because, like I said, your partner can't make you happy. You have to come into a relationship happy. They can only add to your happiness.
I agree with that. You know, especially man, you got to lead. Love yourself. Put yourself in that spiritual leadership. Need that woman. King is out there.
Because why, Jay? What type of people hurt people?
Hurt people.
Hurt people. If you're fucking hurt, leave people alone. Work on yourself before you decide to try to get into something with somebody else. Now, that doesn't mean that because you're working on yourself, that you can't meet somebody who's willing to uplift you and support you while you work on yourself. Like, you know, I see TikToks where people are asking, when you're going through a healing process, should you be alone? And not necessarily. No, you can heal with somebody as long as you're doing the healing,
right?
Doing the work. And you have to have somebody who understands that and who's willing to uplift you through that. But hurt people.
Some people that's not strong enough, they're not built for that. This is what it is, you know. And that's when men in today's world, with all the stuff that's going on, I'm gonna leave this, and most women probably won't agree with this, but I'm gonna say this. I'm not going into details about what's going on because people are aware of what's going on the last 2 or 3 years. The next year or so, shit's gonna get worse. Women, when you're looking for a man, look for a strong man. It's not gonna be just your defense. It's gonna make you feel secure. It's gonna make you feel safe. All the money value, all that shit means nothing. Find a man that respects you, makes you feel safe, that make you feel comfortable to be you. That's it. Point blank, bottom line. If you get that guy, appreciate him, hold on to him, lock his ass up, a combination lock on him, and don't give him the goddamn combination key. Keep it for yourself. Keep your king.
That's absolutely right. Because you die tomorrow, that bag that you've been chasing and not giving time to somebody because you're worried about making money, like it's not going with you. It's not. And like I say on my morning messages, tomorrow is not promised to anybody. Love your folks while you have them.
Love on them. Love on the people and men. Well, I just said what men. Not necessarily find a woman. You want to a woman that kind of meets your needs, that you can depend on, because when you got that glue, that right glue, not the Usher freaky glue, that's later. When you got that right glue and y'all bond, y'all can conquer a world. And that's what's important today. With what's going on in this world today, it takes the right woman, the right combination. Y'all can conquer, make goals, and achieve a lot of shit together. Because let me tell you something, self-wealth has become important in today's world. We all work for somebody that keep us maintain this world through a job, and we can function. And tomorrow they can let your ass go and you can fall flat on your face. Like you just said, you're not guaranteed tomorrow. Like put 2 brains together that's glued right, and you can coincide with each other, can be a powerful force in this world. Just like the Fabulous and Leo song. You're moving by yourself, but y'all are forced when we're together. Man, by ourselves. Well, baby girl, you make me better. You make me better.
Well, it's like I say, you know, like you said a while ago, it's not all about the monetary, you know, and there's a lot of females who are caught up on what the man can give her, like a Birkin and red bottoms and all that. But like I've said before, let's go buy some property and build a damn duplex and have some residual income, and let's do something that's going to help us both grow later on. Because the way this world is going, I don't think anybody's going to be retiring at 65 no more, like at all.
No, exactly.
Don't worry about buying me a $5,000 bag. Let's invest that shit. Let's go start a business, start a company, something.
Buy some land. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things as a man my age right now. I love a sexy woman. I love some titties, but you tell me, baby, let's go invest and buy some land. I might get an erection.
You're ridiculous.
Well, I'm being
ridiculous.
It's just that when women think outside the box, it's like, damn, that's sexy. I'm telling you, certain shit as men, and men on here, you can probably vouch for me. When women think outside the box and take their sexiness beyond just their physical abilities, when they can cook and provide certain things and tell you to go buy some land or can sit down and tell you to put this person in your starting lineup, let's tell you to just go to a football game. Man, our erections come from different. I get turned on differently. Like, you could, physical is cool. Don't get me wrong. You got to be physically turned on. But sometimes women can do things that can change the dynamics of a relationship when they do certain things I just said. Like, I'm just being 100, like, for real. Like, let's go buy some land. Let's go do this. You have a more deep interest in your woman that can open up a new path, the blueprint for you that can make the relationship last longer. When she start opening shit up, let's open some land. I got this new meal I want to try. Let's make this road trip to go watch this football game. That shit is big. You add years to your relationship where you can do that. Your man is gonna be turned the fuck on because it's not the same thing every day. It's something new. It's something new. And that's very important. That'll keep a man, like we said before. You won't go ghost. You gonna find her ass like shit. She's taking me on a road trip to see the Bears play the Atlanta Falcons. We finna go to this game, front seats, you know what I'm saying? She got an Airbnb. Damn, she woke me up to breakfast in bed. Get the fuck out of here. I'm keeping her around. Ain't no other fucking woman gonna do that. Move, bitch. You ain't talking to me. I got a good woman over here. Get the fuck on. That's the king. A king noticed that. And it just ain't the normal shit every day. Like, need this. A woman gonna know what a man wants, and she's gonna go outside the branch and do it. Like you just said. Let's get a duplex.
Let's have some residual income.
Damn, like she thinking outside the box, and that's the force. That's what a man likes when those brains come together. He's like, oh, like, damn, we finna grow, we finna be something. And kings notice that. We sometimes make mistakes and some decisions we make, and we do the same thing women do. We try to settle for shit that ain't ours. But a woman that present those facts, those are different type of turn-ons. Way different type of turn-ons, I'm telling you. So men, pay attention to those turn-ons. For real. Because that's real shit. So
yeah. Like I say, if you're pouring into your people right, you pouring into each other, anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Don't pour no fucking tap water in me, but
shut your ass up. You always got something slick to say.
so sad. Man, we don't want no tap water. I'm
gonna get the water hose, okay? It doesn't matter if I water you with the water hose or with filtered water. I'm watering your ass. That's all they need to be worried about.
Women water me with spring water. I don't fucking want no tap.
Hey, you better appreciate somebody who waters you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Just can't see when you just throwing some regular ass tap water. That's not effort. When you being creative and you put that how you purify that spring water, that purification, you're gonna bring the best out of that person. Keep that dirty water out. Don't want the dirty water in there. So I purify you with the best.
You're something else.
So, hey, y'all, tonight.
So what did y'all learn tonight, y'all? Let's talk about it real quick. Don't chase closure, okay? You don't need to. When they show you who you are, fuck them. I mean, when they show you who they are, fuck them.
I got that from Candy. I actually, what she said tonight, she made me think of that. Like, you don't need to fucking reach out. Well, you know, they show you where you stand.
Yeah.
I mean, so I appreciate Candy. Hey, that's.
I think sometimes it's just the sting, right? That's like, ouch. You know, like, ouch.
It is, but like Candy said, fuck them. Candy, good back. Tastes like candy. When you walk, no.
Secondly, y'all, work on your mental because nobody can make you happy but yourself. Nobody.
Facts.
If you're not happy with yourself or in your position, you will never be happy with somebody else, ever.
Self-love.
Remember that. Self-love is the most important love ever. So.
What else we got? Anything else learned tonight?
Candy said, bingo, right on the dot.
Hey, I always have fun. These shows, like, the podcast is pretty informative. We got bigger things coming. I know we were supposed to go on multiple topics, but for that one topic, I had like the whole page of stuff, like everything. Like, it's like you can dissect the stuff, like why people like don't maintain that consistency. They get, like you just said, self-love. And when people go shit, like Kennedy said, they show you where they stand.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember, y'all, love your folks, flower your folks, be kind to yourself and to others, because tomorrow ain't promised.
On that, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in to Peak 22. Peace out,
Good
y'all.
night.